This is my journal response for week 6. I talked about in my discussion that one of the end of course experiences should be a timeline. So I found an app where students can make a timeline online for multiple people to view, and I kind of incorporated that into a more broad project that would have been implemented in class. So I put it on the discussion board. So it's called the Timeline of Texas History. And what they will do is they will first make a timeline using the Dipity application over major events in Texas history. Now, in class, I would have presented it as something that would be a semester worth of events that they can choose from. So our semester starts in January with the Texas Revolution, and then we kind of go all the way through into modern times. It's kind of a power walk through a lot of different things, the Civil War and having us become a state and everything else. So there's a lot of things they can choose from. Some things that most people, that haven't had the state history wouldn't necessarily jump at right off, the top of their heads, but there's enough there where they could even probably come in with 50 events if I asked them to, but that would just be too tedious. So to get discussion going and have student interaction, what they would do after they make their timeline in Dipity is they would vote on one another's posts. So first they create a top 25 events, they put it in Dipity, they post their timeline so everyone can see by replying to the post, and then they have to reply to at least 3 of their peers' posts telling why or why not they think certain things should or should not be included. So they have to vote on at least 6 events, so that gives the person a reasonable amount of information to digest. And then when they're finished, they will bring their top 10 to class, where they will conduct research and put together an informative timeline that has pictures and a paragraph or multi-paragraph summaries of each event that expand on what we've already talked about in class. So it's kind of a culminating, what's your favorite parts of Texas history kind of thing. And they still show me that they can still conduct research, they can make it works cited, they know how to have proper paragraph structure and evidence and details, that we have been talking about all year. So it kind of just brings everything together, and it's a here you go, show me that you have learned it well. So a little bit on Dipity. I have made a really informal timeline. It only has 2 events. To show kind of what I'm looking for. So these are 2 of their things. Let's say that they wanted to add another event called the Fredonian Rebellion. Okay, I'm actually going to make up a date because I don't remember when it is off the top of my head. But let's say that it happened in 1834. So I'm going to say January 25th, 1834. Okay, and it actually took place in Nacogdoches, Texas, and a group of people declared independence. So all I want is for them to have a little bit of information in this right now. So if somebody doesn't remember the event, they can actually go, oh yeah, I remember this. So hit save, it puts it in there for you, and now you can see Fredonian Rebellion is on the timeline. Now the good thing is that this will be really crammed together at first, but you can move in and make them more spread apart so you can see how they all work together. And kind of, since they're all going to happen in a relatively short amount of time, we started colonization in 1821, and then we moved to the Revolution by the end of 1836, and we had 10 years where we were our own nation. So there's going to be a lot of things that fit in here, and the kids can zoom in or out as they please. So if I make this public, I can just copy and paste my response and create a discussion thread with my timeline. And now anybody can go in, and the responses will be things like, I really think that you should keep the Battle of San Jacinto because that is where we won our independence. Or I really don't think the Fredonian Rebellion should be on the timeline because it was such an insignificant event and only people in Nacogdoches really cared about it. It's another moment where the kids can evaluate and provide some kind of evidence as to, for their assertions, which is kind of the basis for a social studies class. It's not as much the content as it is being able to argue the significance of an event.